Hey guys, so I just got back from Lake Placid and I wanted to give you all a debrief on the Ironman Lake Placid that I just did. For those of you who don't know, that's a 2.4 mile swim, a 112 mile bike, and a 26.2 mile run. And Lake Placid is a super hilly and fun but challenging course. It's absolutely beautiful, and if you ever get a chance to try it, then I definitely would. So the way I chose to approach the race was to basically put the blinders on, like my coach Marilyn had told me, and she basically said, don't get caught up in any of the tactics, just kind of do your own thing. So that's what I did. For the swim, it was a non-wetsuit swim according to the rules for Ironman racing. So I believe that it's about 71 degrees, and if it's above that, then we can't wear wetsuits. The pros were wearing speed suits, and the amateurs were wearing wetsuits. So the way the swim played out was the first couple of 100 meters, everybody kind of gets shaken out, and there were basically two groups, one on my left, one on my right, and I kind of got caught in the middle of no man's land. So I chose to kind of go to my right where there was a line underneath the water, and I just stayed on that line for the most part for the entire swim. The way the groups kind of came together again, the group to my left moved in and kind of pushed in front of me. That group had Justin Dare and a guy named Chad Holderbaum in there. And Chad kind of pushed right in front of me, which was totally fine. But at that point, I was on Paul Ambrose's legs and basically just feeling really good and feeling really strong. Chad kind of pushed me to the side, which was totally fine, totally legal. But then Chad kind of couldn't keep up with Paul, and he kind of held back. And this was just about a minute time. And in that minute, Paul kind of had a gap on Chad, and I didn't realize this gap had opened up. So I kind of pushed over past Chad and tried to catch Paul's legs again, but it was a little bit too late. So I ended up basically swimming after a half mile or 3/4 of a mile. I basically swam on my own. I would have liked to stay on Paul's legs for a little bit longer. I don't know if I would have been able to stay with him the entire time, but it would have been nice to have basically somebody kind of leading the way and also breaking up some of the current, because when we turned around, all the age groupers were coming in the water, so it's a looped course, and all the age groupers were kind of coming this way towards us, and we were moving that way. And you could just feel all the resistance and wave and pressure against you. And swimming in a pack would have been, a little bit more efficient for me. But my whole goal was basically to keep the blinders on, so I just swam on my own, and I swam a pretty good time. I was pretty happy with it. For all of my training, basically in the winter time, it was all about the swim for me. I've really tried to improve my swim, and I think I've been pretty successful. I've just got to keep working on it and keep building it, and it really showed in this race. I came out a minute or two faster than some of the guys that I usually come out with, so that's a huge improvement, and I'm really pretty proud of that. So I came out of the water and jumped on my bike and basically stuck to my particular power zones for the entire bike. And basically what I wanted to do was just let anybody go past me who wanted to go past me, and kind of stick to my guns in terms of what I felt was the right decision. So what this did was basically held me back a little bit on the bike. And in terms of time, I think I did I was a little slower than what I was actually dead on to what I thought I should be, but a little bit slower than the guys I usually ride with, which was fine for this particular race. This was my plan. I went in with that decision, and I don't regret it, because what I wanted to do was set myself up for a good run. So I basically felt that the bike was pretty easy. There were definitely times, and there's always times, where you kind of feel feel really good or feel really bad. Around mile 80, I kind of felt not so energized, but the energy came around, especially once I got on the run, and that's great. And from there, I got into the run, and it was fine. I felt good throughout basically 21 miles, and I felt nice and consistent. I took care of myself all day, and I was pretty happy with getting to where I did before I started feeling really bad, which was mile 21, 22. And that's where I really started to slow down, and it's always been a real challenge for me at that point in the race. And so what I've been doing has been to really build up a stronger run by doing more long runs, doing more volume. I did basically 20 to 30 more miles in the 8-week block leading up to this race than I did in Ironman Texas. And it actually did play out really well for me. I had a 4-minute PR on the run, despite a really challenging time at mile 21 to 24, which I'm sure everybody had, but it really affected my ability to move fast. And after that time, around mile 24, things just turned around again. I think the coke kind of set in a little bit more, and I got a second wind and was able to really push for the last 2 miles, and I was really happy with that. So that's basically my race. I'd just like to congratulate everybody else who finished Ironman Lake Placid, because it's just a phenomenal feat just to finish the race, and racing it is a totally different thing than just finishing, but it is an incredible event to finish. I'd like to say congratulations to the athletes that I coach who finished the race. They had phenomenal races. That's Cam Shahid, Ted Brialt, Stephanie Mismas, and Adriana struggled out there, but that's okay, because we knew going into the race she might have some trouble, because she was a little bit sick coming into the race. And I'd also like to congratulate all of the people who have diabetes who finished the race. The diabetes training camp crew was up there at the race and just did a phenomenal job finishing. It's one thing to live with diabetes, and it's another thing to inspire others and be able to complete such a huge event. So congratulations to James Brent, Julie Jaworski, and Paul Glockers, because you guys just nailed your race and did a great job getting to the finish line. So that's Ironman Lake Placid, and I'm looking forward to taking all this information back and I expect to keep working on my run going into the next one, and I believe that's going to be Ironman Louisville. So stay posted, and I'll post more about my training. Thanks to Complete Human Performance, Zane Cycles, the CT Cycle Center, and Diabetes Training Camp, and Southern Connecticut Muscle and Joint Performance Chiropractic for always helping me out. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Bye.